everyone, I'm Jessica from Oberlo.
And I'm Ross, and I'm going to show you the 5 best products I think to sell in 2019.
And Ross would know a thing or two because he started a dropshipping store that made $220,000 in 1 year. So stick around for Ross's tips on what to sell and how to sell it. Okay, Ross, so before we get started, tell me a little bit about that store that you created.
Okay, so it started back in August 2017. My 5th or 6th dropshipping store, so I tried a couple of them. Most of them weren't really working or kind of just like trying to find that right product.
This was your 6th dropshipping store?
Yeah.
So you don't give up easy?
No, because I read so many articles on Oberlo and so many success stories. I knew it could work. I knew, well, I'm smart enough to get this working, so just keep trying. Maybe not everything is whatever, different products have different audiences, so maybe I just wasn't clicking with the right one. And then in August, one of them started working.
Now, we're going to talk about the product that you sold a little bit later in the video, but today I want to just pull all that expertise out of your head and channel it right to our viewers.
No problem, we'll try.
So we asked you to pick 5 products that you would start dropshipping now in 2019. And then we have this laptop out so that as you talk to us about those products, we can jump in the laptop and you can show exactly what you would do to get those products flying off the shelf.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Whatever methods I use for that store, hopefully apply them to these products as well, and it should work.
Awesome.
And hey guys, the best way to learn is to keep watching stuff like this. That's how I learn, reading blogs, watching videos, looking at success stories and basing it off that. So subscribing, so you keep getting notified. Okay,
so Ross, I'm scratching my head trying to figure out what the first dropshipping product you're recommending is.
Well, this might help that itch of yours.
Okay.
And it is
a
scratch map.
Very cool.
So basically, simple map of the world, and you just scratch whatever countries you went to, or now went to, whoever you're trying to impress.
Okay, so now that we've folded up the scratch map again, tell me in your own words why you think this would sell.
Well, I think like traveling is such a big interest across the world. So when I'm picking products, I'm kind of not trying to get a niche in a certain, I want like something that can target everyone. Because you want everyone to be your customer at the end of the day, because it's just more like potential income.
Okay, then say I wanted to sell these maps, would I just target everyone who loves travel? Because that seems like a really broad audience, and all the other dropshipping advice that we give is all about narrowing that audience.
So like initially I wouldn't narrow it straight away because everyone does like traveling. My mother likes traveling, same as my little brother likes traveling. And that's such a wide, they're 2 completely different audiences technically. So what I would do is I would target a wide audience, and then I would select different demographics within them. But I wouldn't just target a travel demographic, because people who like the gym, for example, like to travel. People who like their pets like to travel. So I would actually do very broad, targeted demographics, and then mix and match. So I wouldn't spend too much money on my first few ads, and then you can kind of mix and match and see which ones start working, and then let the data take over. And eventually Facebook's pixel is so smart, it just picks up, and then the ads, it'll like target lookalike audiences and do people similar to people who buy off yours. But saying that, it's a very broad, I wouldn't just target people who like travel.
Okay.
I would target everyone because everyone likes travel.
So switching from talking about Facebook advertising to social media, I know you found a lot of your success on Instagram. So what could we do with Instagram to sell these travel scratch maps?
Like Instagram is such a great platform right now because everyone and their mothers are on Instagram. And also there's like so many, for example, in the travel, there's so many travel accounts out there with like huge following. So you already know, if you go onto these accounts, you already know that the people following them have an interest in travel. So I think I'm a big man for like your social media account is a huge seller for like drop shipping. So the better your social media, you get a lot of free publicity on it.
Yeah.
So I would go on to like these big Instagram, let's say for example, Hostel World. They have over 200,000 followers. The people following them are interested in traveling, So you can just go on and you can follow their followers. And like you'll always remember, like example, when I'm on my own Instagram account and I see someone follow me, I always just double check the account who follow me. So if you have a really good account there waiting with, and especially now with Instagram shopping and everything like that, where you can actually just directly buy from Instagram and go straight to the website, like it's pretty much free advertising. So you also find your perfect clientele. So like not everyone's gonna follow you back. but like the engagement, liking their posts, commenting on like these people in here without going into their names or anything like that. Like, you know, and it's as simple as follow. Now there's a limitation to how many people you can follow in a day from Instagram, but like, you know, if I followed 50 people a day over the course of 2 or 3 months and 10% of them follow back, you just build your own social media account while potentially making sales and also finding the people that are interested and not finding the people that are interested, you know?
Yeah, one thing that also stands out to me here, for example, so you brought up this Hostel World account and they have a hashtag in their bio, Meet the World. And if I click on Meet the World, I can see that over 450,000 people have used that hashtag. So I'm imagining if you're posting on your own Instagram account and you're selling this product, use Hostel World's hashtag to get in their feed and get in front of their customers, right?
Exactly. And like with the traveling community, like there's so many travel bloggers out there now, and like this scratch map is such a little neat thing, and like it's a perfect gift for someone who's always traveling. It's a perfect gift to buy for yourself. Like, you know, it's just up on the wall. It's like a neat little thing to do. Yeah. Like it's so easily marketed, and it's so cheap to buy.
Yeah. If we take a look at the Oberlo site for it, we see that you can get it for under $7. And I think there's also a smaller version as well. But even this version, really the stats back up what you're talking about, Ross, because it had over 1,500 orders in the last 6 months, over 200 in the last 30 days, so and great reviews.
And it comes in a nice little box. Yeah. You know, really cool. Like it's just the whole, like from start to finish of the actual product, it's really good quality. Like there's even a little map on the outside. So it's just nice to give as a gift, you know? So I would recommend it.
And by the way, we're going to leave a link to all of the products that we recommend in the description below. Ross, it's like I'm having a vision. I can see into our audience's future that they're going to be rich. It's like I can see into a crystal ball. So this is a glass sphere, and you're telling me we can drop ship this.
Oh yeah, don't drop it on the ground, but you can definitely drop ship it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is pretty much a little photography gimmick. So just like, it's hard to see now from that angle over here, but it inverts the image. So you take a picture and it's actually upside down, but it's really fun to play around with. Like you can take some really cool photos, and this goes back to the whole Instagram being a wonderful platform to sell on and market. Like, you know, social media marketing and good images and cool creative content. You have better content, you're going to sell. It just makes your whole business look more legitimate, more interesting, and then you can like hopefully start trending things like this, you know? So this just helps with that, you know? Me, I'm like a hobbyist photographer, so I find it fun, you know, to take different photos that, you know, everyone could, you know, example, go to the Empire State Building. Everyone takes the exact same photo of the Empire State Building. This takes an upside down version, and it just takes, you know, you can even see yourself or me. You can go back to the same thing. You can easily find through hashtags and like, you know, trending accounts, people, you know, good photographers, people who are really good at creating content, and go down the like influencer route.
I just want to pause you there because you said you're a great photographer, but what happens if you want to sell this, but you, the dropshipper, are not a very good photographer? How do you get all this great content that's going to sell this?
Well, that's perfect. You get other people to do it for you. So you look for those high profile accounts or people who like, they don't have to be high profile. Just, I know some fantastic photographers that are just not well known on Instagram. Find them, message them from your business account, and like little gimmicks like, hey, X, I really want to join our team. We looked at your profile. I think you'd suit our promotion teams really well. We want you to try our products and let us know what you think. And a lot of people, not everyone, will email back and like, you're getting a free product for nothing. It costs them nothing. Why not? And so these really good photographers now have this magic crystal ball, and they work their magic with it. You know, they'll get really creative and they'll do all the work for you. So they're after getting this back, and then they'll post images back to you. If they really like their own images, they're probably posted on their own page. So you're getting publicity, 1, on their page, 2, you're getting content for your own page. And it's just, I think it's a really easy way to do it.
There are 2 things that I want to dive into there. First, you said, hey, join our team. So are you framing marketing as a team effort, or what's your reasoning behind that?
So when you're like, it could be a one-man business, but like when you're approaching people, you want to make it feel like it's like they're joining a big company, they're being part of a process, you know, they're part of an influencer team. Like, you know, I could have over 100 people that were influencers for me. And like, you know, they just feel, instead of me asking you personally, a stranger, no, why would I do it for you? But me, the company asking you to be part of the company, just gives them that sense of like that they were needed for something. And it's more like social manipulation in the best way, because it's a win-win. They're getting a free product, and they're getting now some cool different photos that they might have never thought of with this. And I'm also getting the content and the advertisement. So I think it is a win-win. But yeah, the team base, it's just like, I found it a very good approach. Like, hey, we were looking at your profile. We think it's like a really cool profile. Would you be interested in joining our influencer team? If you are, please email promotions at whatever your domain name is.
Yeah, even going a step beyond and having like promotions at.
So yeah, so let's get away from the Instagram DMs. Let's make it look even more professional. Get the message in your promotions manager. So people just have this sense of worth, and now they really want to I'd be excited for like, let's say one of the bigger ones, like, I don't know, Adidas, of course, message me like, hey, do you want to be, but if your account is somewhat a high profile, like, once it starts passing 10,000 followers, people are like, oh yeah, I'm being shared on this high profile account. So they're getting publicity for themselves, and you're getting publicity for your product.
And then the other thing I wanted to ask you about, so you said you would give this product away. And what's the price threshold when you think, okay, it's worth it to give my product away for free to influencers because I'll make those sales back?
Depending all on the influencers and how much followers they have. But because sometimes, if I see someone who's really good at photographer, for example, and I know they're going to take great content, that is completely worth between $5 and $10. That is like, they could take 100 photos that I could use over the course of a couple of months. So I would say, yeah, it depends on your own budget. For example, the cheapest one here is only like $2.31 for the small one, and then it goes up to $7. So yeah, I would think, depending on your budget, but like that $7 goes a long way, because you can put on, you're getting your social proof, and you're just so much behind an influencer and a promoter. They're promoting it to their friends. So now no one's ever heard of your business because you're dropshipping, you're brand new. But like, there's a lot of trust and people telling other people. So like, this new influencer of yours, he's like, oh, I just bought this cool new thing. More than likely, he's going to have some cool photography friends. People have friends with just similar interests. So he's like, where'd you get that? I got it on your site. Mm-hmm. And they're going to trust buying from your site because your friend had it. They're going to trust that it works because they've seen him using it and they've seen his imagery. So there's just a whole thing behind this influencer and social proof. And I think that's one of the biggest, 100%, one of the biggest things in dropshipping is social proofing.
So we've got one more product to talk about that's kind of in this vein of impulse buys or purchases just for fun. And then we're going to switch and we're going to talk about two products that really take a little bit of a different treatment when you're selling them. Okay, Ross, we're going to talk about the next product. So whenever you just want to put that away and we can move on.
But this is the next product.
That's the next product?
This is the next product.
What the heck is that?
This is a fidget cube. It is the most fun thing ever. I picked this up at a house party a couple of months ago, and I was just like amazed by it. It was in my hand for like 4 hours, and I didn't even notice, but I was completely subconsciously entertained.
I already know what all of our drop shippers are going to say about this product. They're going to say it's over. Fidget spinners have been done. This is just a different shape of fidget spinner and it can't sell. How do you respond to that?
Go check the stats. Go check AliExpress orders is still quite high. Go check the Facebook videos. There's tons of them out there with a lot of engagement, a lot of views. I don't think the trend is dead. More so for the fact because it is quite unique and like it's something you wouldn't think that it's so simple, but like it's really like very like have a go.
Well, I think
it just the way it's shaped, it fits really nice in your hand. I feel like it's especially it's targeting that audience now. I come from the gaming generation, I was brought up on Xbox and PlayStation. I've been brought up on buttons, pressing buttons,
Well, I think the Facebook ads really prove your point there because I searched on Facebook for Fidget Cube and I see these videos. One of them has 1.2 million views, the other has 800,000 views, the other has 900,000 views. So that's 3 Fidget Cube videos right there. And if I click this and I watch the video, it's really simple. Like anyone could make this video ad with their iPhone and the fidget toy. But
it's so easy to show what it does. And now it's just putting a good price point on it.
Okay, and what would be a good price point for something like this?
Impulse buy, under $10.
Under 10?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's costing us here on the supply between $4 and $5, including the shipping. But we're not going for high profits. It's more like get them in. So I would design a whole fidget website around this. Like there's so many different like, you know, fidget spinners, I believe that is dead. But there's still people that if they're maybe buying this, yeah, why not add that while I'm paying for shipping anyway? There's all these little finger skateboards, these BMX bikes, I don't know if anyone remembers, but these are things I remember being a kid, and now they're back, they're on AliExpress, they're really cheap. They're things I would do, like, you know, so when people come to your website, they come in to buy this and they might buy something else.
So these videos are easy to make. You could make a video ad for these fidget cubes, but how would you target something like this?
I actually always look at myself. So like, I pick products based on my own needs and like what I think is interesting in myself, because then who knows myself better than myself? So I know how to target myself, and I know I'm not unique as much as I like to think I am. So it's really easy to target what are my interests, and I know my interests are shared by similar people. So like, I'm a big gamer. You know, I've grown up playing Xbox and PlayStation, so I target gamers, all this. I go on Google Trends, I'd see, you know, keywords, fidget, cube, toys, stuff like that. See, that's, you know, who to target country-wise and stuff like that. So
you're saying, Ross, that you would target video game players, but I'm wondering, like, where in the world would you target these video game players?
Well, I'd always go for, to be honest, the top 5, you know, United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, Ireland. Places, you know, there's high consumerism, high commercialism, people who have expendable cash. And then going from there, you know, then you can look at the trends. Okay, well, listen, I'm here in Ireland and this is enjoyable. Maybe someone in Italy, why would it not be?
You know, call me a cynic, but I still don't quite believe you that this trend is still strong enough to make sales, because I went into Google Trends and I looked up fidget cube and I see that interest over time actually declined. So how are you going to sit here and tell me and tell our audience to sell fidget cubes when the trend line's going down?
How much did your store make again?
I don't have a store.
I'm joking. Okay, no, the trend line's going down, but you can see here on the Google Trends that it's actually quite high in certain countries. So this is where I'd go in now and start targeting specific countries in their specific language. So this was a big thing for me. Initially, obviously, I targeted the top 5, United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, English-speaking countries. And when they started wavering, I'd be like, okay, well, listen, people are generally the same. Culture-wise, might be different, but you know, people share the same interests and needs. And I started targeting these ads in the other non-top 5 spending countries. And then I found a lot of success in actually targeting in their own language. So, you know, you think, okay, most people speak English, but that's very presumptuous of us English speakers. So when I actually targeted, let's say when I was in Spain and I used Spanish, boom, as in the sales skyrocketed just from a simple text overlay on my ad. It was now in Spanish and not in, it was the same image, exactly the same. It was now because obviously they can understand it.
And how did you pay a translator to translate your ad from English to Spanish?
Google Translate.
Oh, yeah. Free.
Not perfect, not perfect, but you know, you don't want too much text on your ads anyway. A simple, you know, offer, 20% off, swipe up, something like that. So the trend may be going down worldwide, but that doesn't mean like, you know, it's gone. As in like 3 months later, I'm still playing with this. I love it. You know, battery free. It's a one-time buy. You never have to reinvest, and it's so cheap. And then you get to play with it forever.
Wait, before we go on to the next product, I don't think we've actually told our audience what it was that you were selling. What were you selling that you sold 30,000 orders in your first year?
It was teeth whitening.
Was it really?
Yeah. Everyone wants a smile on their face. So I was selling charcoal teeth whitening powder.
Ah, so then was it this charcoal teeth whitening powder that you were advertising in English and then you started to sell it in other countries?
Well, this is where I got the whole idea of like, you know, targeting, you know, not niche, but, you know, worldwide, a big, wider audience, because who do you know that doesn't want white teeth, you know? Example, who do you know, everyone does. I was targeting the top 5 and I was getting great success. And I was like, well, why wouldn't someone from Italy want white teeth? Or someone, and that's when I would use Google Trends. I might type in white teeth or like, you know, charcoal powder, and I would look at the top 10, top 5, whichever. And I would then, okay, I obviously knew the top, you know, England and America already. And then I'd look at the other ones, like maybe Spain's there and Italy. And then I would retarget those ads in their language, and it just generated great success. From a simple Google Translate, as in I typed in the exact same sentence into Google Translate, it took me an extra 2 minutes.
A lot of dropshippers don't realize that they can do that. They can both dropship within their own country, but just as easily sell to other countries.
Yeah, I think that's where I started. So initially when I started, I only advertised in Ireland, because at the same time, you might be starting with a limited advertising budget. So you kind of want to keep costs low, and then you know your own country well. You know a lot of your friends what they want, and so you you might be presumptuous to presume that other countries might have different needs and they wouldn't have the same trends going on. But that's why you use Google Trends, use the internet, you know, everyone is connected now. And with like the likes of social media and Instagram, everyone is aspiring to be, not aspiring, but they're copying each other.
Okay, so were you selling the charcoal teeth whitening powder first with English ads and then with Spanish ads, or did you also target other countries?
So basically targeted Ireland first, my own home country. And then when I started making a bit of profit and I had a bit more expendable cash, I was like, okay, let's branch out to here. So I used Google Trends. I saw United Kingdom was up there and would target them. And then same with the United States. But then, you know, I targeted Spain, Italy, and I could see from the trends that they were quite high, you know, interest, but they just weren't converting for me. And I thought, well, because they don't speak English. Not that they don't speak English, but like, you know, a lot of Europe tends to speak their own country's language, whereas we're so presumptuous, you know, maybe if you're selling the United States, you wouldn't even think, you just, you know, the United States is so big, you mightn't even think to, you know, target Europe because you're shipping from China anyway. So why, you don't have to target your own country because it doesn't matter where it's coming from. So that's when I changed the language, and then I found great success in like Spain, Italian, German, and it was a simple Google Translate and targeting those people with the same interests, same demographics, just a simple language change.
I asked Ross a lot more questions about his store, so if you want to learn more about how he built his store and made it so successful, just make sure to watch this next.
So our next product number 4, is a clear necessity. Ooh.
It's a waterproof rear view mirror sticker.
Yeah, simple. How often, okay, this is definitely because I'm from Ireland. It rains a lot in Ireland, guys. Every morning I get in my car and I have to reverse or just look into my side mirror and it's covered in raindrops. It's so annoying, and I give it a smudge on my sleeve and it's just still smudgy, you know, so I don't have the perfect, you know, view, which is a necessity when you're driving for safety. And I found this one day and it's so simple. It's just 2 films, protective films you put onto your mirror, and it's waterproof, so the rain actually just washes off it, so you have a constant clear mirror. Now, it's nothing fun about this, but it's a one-time buy. You literally put it on and you forget about it.
The point you made there that really stands out to me is this is a real safety thing. So rather than talking about how this would make people's lives more fun, this seems like it would really make people's lives safer.
Yeah, so this is kind of going back to that whole targeting that wide audience, giving products that everyone can use. You know, you don't want to limit yourself, you know, because everyone's a potential customer. You know, everyone has a car. Well, majority of people. So it's such a wide audience to target. And it's so easy then, you know, this product on AliExpress or Oberlo Supply costs like $1. Absolutely nothing. This can be your lead loss product. You can get them in, maybe sell it for $3. You're not making too much profit on it, but then have a whole car website behind it. Have, you know, a phone holder, have your Bluetooth, you know, connector, anything, you know, you can car seat covers and cross sell. This is when you can start, like, you know, making more money, get them in with a cheap product and it's something that they need. You know, if I saw an ad for this, and I saw a really good, you know, video of like why I should need it, I'd buy it for $3. Why not? It's so cheap.
Let me ask you something. You called this a lead loss product. Can you define that for us?
So it's like a product that you're potentially making a loss on. You still can make a profit on this, is fine, yeah. But you're not going to make thousands off it. But what you want to do is get them in. That ad is, you know, caught their interest, and now they're brought to a hopefully beautiful website with other products that the profit margins are higher on. Now, when people are buying, I know personally myself, I always look to myself when I'm trying to target other people. What do I do? When I'm on a website, I'm never really just going to buy one thing. If I'm paying a shipping fee, I might add 1 or 2 other things just because, well, why not? So that's what I would think the general consensus is with most people is to do the same. Mm-hmm. So lead loss, you're not making much money off it, but you're leading you to buy, you know, potentially more with a cross-selling thing.
So this is interesting because, you know, we talked with Scott Hilsey and he was recommending products that weren't nearly this cheap. And he was talking about having a 1-product store. So your advice is really to sell something inexpensive and then also make sure you've got other products in your store that you can then cross-sell. Yeah,
I mean, like, it's also because, okay, no one's outright looking for this. You wouldn't even think about this. You didn't even know this existed. But if you saw an ad for it and suddenly it's like, okay, that's not bad. And then you see the price on it, that's your impulse buyer. That's who you're targeting. That's, you know, people on Instagram on their ads, they're looking at their friends' stories. They're not really looking to buy anything. it's an impulse buy. It's as simple as swipe up and buy, and it's done and dusted, and people kind of forget about it. So it's kind of trying to keep that price point as well, that price range. What is an amount people are willing to spend without thinking under $10? Now, the quality of this is really good for under $1. Well, it's such a simple idea. It's just like a waterproof film, and most people, you could sell that for $5 realistically, and no one would question it at all. And you're making a good $4 on it, which is going back to, let's try to push volume. Let's try to sell lots of it. You're targeting that wider audience. It's not a targeted audience, so there's a lot more potential customers out there. Let's sell loads.
Yeah, which is what you did with your beauty product as well. Focus on a lower price point and selling a lot of it.
Yeah, instead of making good profit but only being targeting certain people. That's just the way I did it. I think that's a good idea, and I'd really recommend, to be honest, that everyone should buy this anyway if you're in a rainy country, because it's a one-time buy and it is so cheap.
And you're not drop shipping this product yet, right? You're not.
Well, if you want to buy it off my website, follow the link. Nah. I actually really do like the product.
So there's really two things you can do with this product. You can sell it at a low price point and sell lots of it and just do that, or you can have other products in your store to cross-sell. What, in your experience selling your charcoal tooth whitening powder, what's the benefit of cross-selling versus not?
Well, I'll give you a prime example from my own website. I didn't start cross-selling till 6 months in. I had other products on my website, but there's actually apps you can get within Shopify. So when you added something to the cart, it would have a pop-up and then it would okay, you can set whatever it says. So buy this product, with this product, you get 50% off the second product. And I found that 70% of people would always buy the pop-up product because the price point was still quite low. So I was
70%?
Yeah, it was quite, because it went hand in hand at the same time. So it was the teeth whitening powder with a toothbrush. So it just made sense. And the overall cost of both items was under $10 still. So it makes sense when I'm buying this to why not buy this. But I learned, because I only put that in 6 months after the website, and going back to high traffic days and high volume days, that I potentially lost $50,000.
Wow. By
just not even having a simple app of cross-selling. So I would really recommend, what goes hand in hand with this, I'm not quite sure. It's up to you. And then not even this, for it, just in general.
I really like your advice though. You don't have to cross-sell or upsell to a $20 item. You can cross-sell and keep both items under $10, and that way you're still making a good amount of profit selling two things instead of one.
I made more money off the toothbrush than I did off the actual tub.
How many products do you recommend a new dropshipper have in their store if they want to try cross-selling and upselling?
Well, mine I only had under 10 because I was limited I kept a certain team, the niche, charcoal niche. People have this great idea, they see 1,000 products they love, but then it's a lot of work to actually have these products on your website and have good product description for all of them. And people get a lot, I find myself, I'd get very exhausted.
Okay, Ross, whenever you're ready, we can just do the next one.
Sorry, I'm just looking for my keys here.
Yeah. Where did you last see them?
I don't know, but I have this really cool app on my phone. You can just basically pinpoint it, lets out a beep, and you can find it. Oh,
that's cool.
Have you ever seen this?
No.
It's product number 5.
That's great. So tell me more about this. It's just a plastic triangle, right?
Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it? I mean, you'll always find your keys because it's pink triangle. No. So it's actually, it's a Bluetooth key finder on Oberlo supply. It's really cool. Basically, you can download an app on your phone, and it lets you know the location, and it puts out a noise. So the closer you get, it makes a noise, and the further you're away, it makes a different noise. So basically, it's going down to the Internet of Things and the way technology is going. How often do you lose your keys or your wallet? And it's tiny. You can just slot it on your keys, you put it in your wallet, put it on your dog's collar, and now you can track everything from your phone. I think it's a really cool product.
Okay, so this product is cool, but I'm always hearing about how if I'm in e-commerce, I should really be going after return customers. Is this product good for that?
This is definitely a one-time buy.
Okay.
Well, depends on what you could buy 10 of them for different sets of keys, your wallet, your dog, literally anything. But more than likely, you're only going to buy it once. So you're going back to that return customer thing. It is not great for returning customers. But saying that with dropshipping, returning customers are quite hard to acquire because not everyone is too happy with the long wait times. 2 to 3 weeks is quite longer than the 2 to 3 days people will expect now. So going down that route of dropshipping, I think it's personally fine. to sell something like this. And then maybe if you want your returning customers, yeah, build a website around it. It's quite an impulse buy, not even an impulse buy. If you have a good, like, really good demo video and like explain to people why they need this. I know I need it already because I do lose my keys, and like, you know, you want everything to be from your phone, if you get me. So it's nice to you just have everything on your phone. So imagine you can just track everything on your phone. You know where your friends are now with Snap Maps. You know where your keys are with this app.
So what you're saying is, if you're in dropshipping, sometimes the whole strategy of dropshipping is not to go for the return customer, but just make a really smooth sales funnel for that one single customer.
Yeah, I mean, even using my own website as an example, I had 30,000 orders. Sounds like a lot. 30,000 against 7 billion people in the world. You don't need return customers. There's always a new customer. I know there's the motto, it's harder to make a new customer than keep an existing one. But in the dropshipping business, I found that it's the opposite. You want the new customer, you want the impulse buyers, the people that have never heard of your website. That's why you're advertising, because they've never heard of you and they're going up. And that's the clientele you're kind of going after. And with a product like this, you know, it's useful, there's an app involved, and it's cheap.
On that subject of long shipping times, we actually do have a video that explains how you can tell customers about those shipping times. Just click right here so you can watch it next. And this particular product costs $3.99, so about $4. How would you price that on your website?
You know, something like this, because it comes with an app, it has that sense of like quality and like, you know, you're buying into something. So you can price it a bit higher. I'd still recommend under a €10, because, you know, it's still a good profit margin on it. Like, this is $4. You're coming with it. If you're making a clean 5 and then just go again back to the volume sales, you know, it's something that everyone could need. Not everyone thinks they want, but like once they have it, they'll find it really useful. But it goes back. It's not one of those fun products, but it's one of those necessary products, I think, you know. Okay. Yeah, I'd sell, to be honest, I'd sell this for like, I'd be happy to sell that for like $7.99. Yeah. Something like that, because yeah, you're going back to that, and then I give free shipping. $3 to $4 is fine. Like, you know, if you multiply this like by like, you don't want to just make 10 sales a day. You want to make 200. Yeah. So like that's why you keep the price ranges in that under 10, like your video says.
Okay, Ross, before I let you go, lightning round. What are your top 3 things to look for when you're looking for a dropshipping product to sell? Okay,
I'd recommend it highly. Order your products first. Get them to you. So, you know, there's lots of products out there with different suppliers. Test them. You need to test them because you don't want to be sending you know, if you've never seen a product, it could be really bad quality. And then it's the price point. You know, you want to go for something that you can make a good profit margin on, but like a lot of these products are actually under $5. So you can still sell them under $10, and that's a great impulse buy. And then it comes down to like your own needs. I always look to myself as like, oh, what do I want? What do I need? I know I'm not the only person that thinks like this. And then it's really easy, instead of guessing like who wants this, if you're trying to sell to yourself, you know exactly, you know, I see all these ads that catch my eyes. I know which ones I swipe up on. I know which ones I don't swipe up on. Yeah, I would use yourself as your first customer, to be honest. You know, most of these products, I'd love them. That's why I picked them. And then it's easier to sell. In terms of top 3, a good price point under $10, under 5 even, depends on your profit margins. Check the quality out first, because when you're in this price range, things can be a bit dodgy. There's some great suppliers out there, Oberlo suppliers. Some of them are verified, you know they're good quality. And 3, I'm not too sure the third one.
Study your own buying habits.
Yeah, study your own buying habits. What do you want? What do you like? You know, there's people have dedicated hundreds of hours to targeting to you, and you're not that unique. Definitely that you can just resell to someone. You know, my first sales are to my friends. You know, so like, you know, use that as practices, and then you can expand from that. Then you know, then you have your little audience, and then you make it your bigger audience, and then you know how to target these ads. Oh yeah, I actually more.
Well, save them, because we're actually going to talk about that in another video.
Sorry guys. Hey Scott, you know, I saw your video. I know you have different methods than me, but let me know what you think of these ones. And if you do want to go half in the store, get my number from Jessica. Conquer the world.